South Africa's got a teen pregnancy pandemic. It's not meant to be a pandemic. It is a pandemic, unfortunately, because we as general society don't approve of children between the ages of 10 and 19 having babies. In the 2022-2023 year in South Africa, over 90,000 children between the ages of 10 years old and 19 years old gave birth in South Africa. It's scary. I think, if I'm not mistaken, about 2,500, if not close to 3,000, of those kids were aged between 10 and 14. Now, questions have been asked. Why? Why are kids falling pregnant? What's going on? And it's probably like a much longer conversation. The issue that I have, and partly why I'm raising it, is the South African government, the Department of Health, has deemed it okay to give contraceptives to children from the age of 12. These are children who, when you're 12, you're in grade 6, sometimes grade 5. You're a child. And the South African law have decided that it's okay to give these kids consent to get the injection, to take oral contraceptives without needing parental consent. We speak about the violation of human rights, we speak about the violation of many things, and it's how do you allow children to do that? Now, on top of that, they've also said that children from the age of 12 can abort a pregnancy without parental consent. I think we need to have a conversation about it. I'd like to hear your thoughts about it. And obviously, we need to find solutions, but it's linked to this concept that young children are falling pregnant. Why are they falling pregnant? And, when I was telling someone this stat, because they didn't believe it, you can go look it up yourself. Over 90,000 children. They were like, they were raped. And I was like, no, they weren't. She was like, what? They were raped. And I was like, it makes me sad how so many of us were children before and we act like we weren't. Children have been having sex forever. In my years, I think between age 14 and 16 was when girls were breaking their virginity. And then for Amachita, it would normally be, because gents are a bit later, I think it would be from maybe 16 to 18. You must understand, the 14-year-old girls are sleeping with like 16-year-olds, which is why, and that 16-year-old gent is probably also having sex for like the first time and whatever. Children have sex with each other. And boys can impregnate girls at that young age. It's not that all 90,000 of these births or these children was from a school teacher or a coach or a neighbor or an uncle. There are definitely those cases, and those cases need to be looked into and people need to be punished accordingly. But children are having sex with each other. 18-year-old boys are having sex with 15-year-old girls in grade 9, and they're having babies. Part of the problem with this reporting is that we're not hearing and no one is tracking the ages of the fathers. It's almost like there's a propaganda. Oh, shock. Kids are having sex and falling pregnant. You're like, yeah, but we need to know who the father is and their age. And they don't show us that data. I've spoken to politicians to be like, imagine the data. And they're like, no, we don't have that information. I'm like, nah, you don't have that information. In South Africa, we've got an unabridged birth certificate, which needs to have the father's details there. And to be honest, one of the pandemics we have in this country is our government incentivizes single motherhood. It's easier for a mother of a child to get access to money, schooling, assistance when there's no father present. And I think we need to make a rule. I know it would cause a lot of controversy. I know it would upset a lot of people. I know there are people that are in really dire circumstances. But I would say, before a child gets a child grant, we need a social worker to meet both parents, and we need both parents to apply and be there. It can't be that the mother's showing up by herself. because we want to create united families. Because you'll find that a lot of these women that show up, including these children, the father's there and the father works, but she's going to lie and be like, I'm 18. I don't know where the father is. I don't want to speak about it, but then she still gets a child grant. It's wrong. So we've got a problem of teenage pregnancy. At some point, I think KZN was leading. I think maybe Gauteng has surpassed them. I know the Eastern Cape numbers are also high up. A big part of this has to do with just population dynamics. Like the biggest number of people live in KZN, Gauteng, the Eastern Cape. But then also you need to look at places like villages, townships, where there's lack of adult supervision, where the children don't have things to do. I mean, children finish school, they walk home, they don't have extramural activities, they don't have sports. So they're chilling together, they get up to mischief. And now with the advent of the internet, cell phones, there's porn everywhere. Kids watch porn and they want to try out what they're seeing. In the same way they see dancers online and they do dance challenges. You see these high school kids with their dance challenges. Some of them are interviewing each other. Who's the hottest guy in school? Who's the hottest chick in school? They do monologues. They do so many cool things. You can only imagine that when they see some of the darker things like street fighting, having sex, they copy from seeing that stuff. So maybe we also need to have a conversation around maybe even banning porn sites. When I went to visit Dubai a few years ago, when I got there, I remember some of the guys complained, say, websites. I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, say, some of these, and you search. I'm obviously not saying that I was, I wasn't searching the things myself. But you just realize that with better leadership, porn sites in the UAE are banned. And that's something that your government can enforce.